Hiya! As you might know already if you follow me on Instagram, I've been talking with a person who contacted me and suggested the brilliant idea about tell his story being addicted to pornography. And then I also post a story suggesting to people that if somebody has any question to him, I will let him know, and many people did. So I will read the story and then I will read the questions and the answers. And then after the questions, I will comment what I think about this addiction. I'm gonna start. It took me 11 years to admit I have a problem. So here's my story about how I become addicted to porn. Right now, I am 28 years old and I'm sure you wouldn't say I have any problem. I am healthy, kinda good looking guy, skinny, easy to talk to. I am not good at flirting, though I think it is because deep down I am pretty insecure. It all started roughly 11 years ago. Back then, I was one of the young guys who was playing computer games all day long. I was reading a lot, yet still was an average student and didn't enjoy sports at all. I really wasn't attractive to girls, and I kinda didn't mind. I was having 2, 3 friends, all guys, who were also into books, games, cheap and terrible alcohol. The problem was that I had my own room and I had the internet. So why should I try to be better, to look better, to work out or pay extra for good looking glasses if I could watch the most beautiful girls on earth doing whatever I wanted and masturbate? Why should I spend my time with people I don't know, or why should I try to find a new hobby if I had my 3 friends, if I had my computer and my porn? Girls at school were not into me, and if one of them was, so what? She wasn't looking as good as the porn stars, and definitely didn't want to have a threesome with another girl and do some other crazy sex stuff 1 hour later. You know what I mean? The real person just couldn't be as good as the infinite offer of the internet. I did get a girlfriend eventually. I was 18, so I didn't have problem to have sex with her 4 times during night, then go home and masturbate 4 times. After we broke up, I went to the capital city to study and I got a roommate, so I couldn't masturbate that often. I was busy with school and I thought that all is good. But when I got home for a weekend, I was watching porn again. 3 times, 5 times a day, plus one extra before bed. Why not? I thought I was okay. But I wasn't. I was very shy, but sometimes I met a girl and sometimes she wanted to have sex, but I couldn't get an erection. I was 20 and I was not able to have sex with a girl. I always found an excuse. Once it was because I was maybe too drunk, next time because it was cold outside, and next time because I was too nervous and she wasn't that pretty anyway. Now I see how I lied to myself. All got worse when I started to work and I started to live on my own. I woke up, watched porn, went to work, watched porn on a toilet, got home, watched porn, ate something, watched porn, and went to sleep. I was able to have sex with a girl if I knew her for a while, like 3 dates or something. And when I knew that we were going to have sex, I did my best not to masturbate 24 hours before our date, and that usually worked. But any one night stands and things like that? No, sorry. I'm not feeling good. I am maybe too drunk and I might have a cold. I was lying to her and to myself. I wasn't bad at sex. I liked it and enjoyed it. But every relationship started to be boring in a couple of months. How could my new girlfriend, who was sometimes not in a mood and sometimes had her period, be better than all the girls I can find and have sex with in 10 seconds on the internet? They were always ready, they were always beautiful, and I didn't care that it's not in a real world. Now I'm 28 and I can masturbate 4 times per day, but I can't then have sex 4 times per night with a girl I love. No, I have to choose one of these, and often it's porn because it's just easier. Maybe my girlfriend thought that I was cheating on her, but I wasn't. I was just watching porn 3 times before she got home, so I was not in a mood for kissing or sex. And why should I wait for her to have sex with her in the evening if I can find the most beautiful black girl having sex with an Asian woman right now? I hope you got my point, and if you think that I'm stupid, you're right. A year ago, I realized that I have an addiction, and I felt great because it all made sense. That's why I sometimes didn't have an erection in my 20s. That's why I have never really learned how to talk to girls, and why I'm not feeling good before the first high, first date, first kiss, and first sex. But this addiction is stronger than any other. I did stop smoking. I was smoking for 6 years and I haven't had a cigarette since the 1st of January 2020. If I ever want to smoke, I can't. I don't have cigarettes at home, and my friends know they can't give me one if I ever ask. But with porn, porn is everywhere. You try not to watch porn for 3 days and you realize how many commercials in magazines, how many spots in TV, and how many articles in news is full of sex and nudity. It goes without saying the internet is the worst. You're literally 5 seconds away from hardcore porn all the time. It is like trying to stop smoking but having an open pack and a lighter in your hand all the time. I am trying to stop. I am failing, but there is an improvement. I did stop watching the regular Pornhub types of surfs, but still sometimes I look up pictures of naked girls and masturbate. Not sure why. After I finish, I am sad because I failed and I have to start my feast all over again. And 3 hours later, my brain is like, you failed, so why to try? And sometimes I watch porn again. I am trying to talk about, I am trying to think about it. I am using all the web page blockers and it does help a bit. But I feel I wasted weeks of my life watching porn, having sex while I was feeling miserable, and there is still a long way in front of me. Whew. Well, now I will read the questions and the answers that he gave. Why do you feel you're addicted to porn? What thoughts or feelings you have when watch it? Ever have you thought that maybe you've been influenced since a child or been sexually repressed? If I can watch porn all the time, I don't feel like I have any problem. I do feel it only when I can't watch it or don't want to. And I don't want to be addicted to anything because then I cannot focus on work, on school, on my life. The feelings are good because when I watch it, I feel like the most beautiful girl on earth are interested in me and want to have sex with me. I don't think this has anything to do with my childhood. My childhood was fine. Maybe the problem was the personal computer in my room since I was a kid. If the computer was always in the living room, things could be better, but I would probably find another way how to watch it. What are you doing to stop your addiction? I quit with hard porn. I am no longer watching videos on pictures. I am trying to look for a nude girl instead of skinny Japanese girl is having sex with her white roommate in the kitchen. Does it affect your daily routine? It does. Sometimes I reschedule my plans only to be alone for a while to watch porn. Sometimes I miss a bus or show up a little bit late somewhere just because I had to watch it. What does porn give you or allow you to do that a sex experience can't give you? Good question. Because I am not very attractive. I am very smart though. With porn, I can watch girls who I will literally never meet doing whatever I want. And now I want to say that I am not crazy and I don't think this is any girl's fault. I respect every woman and I was doing my best for 11 years to make my brain think it's better to watch porn instead of meeting people. It's not any girl's fault and it was only mine. Does it affect your relationships? How? I am not in a mood for sex with a girl I love because I was watching porn an hour ago. She kinda know it, I guess, and she kinda didn't mind, I hope. But if you're 25 and you can't have sex because you don't have an erection, it's one of the worst feelings for a young guy you can imagine. What does excite you the most about watching porn? Again, it would be the possibility to be safe at home, not spending any money, and not having to leave my safe zone to have sex with girls. Soon after I have an orgasm, I feel empty again. So I watch porn to feel better. So the feeling better was the exciting thing. Now I know I was feeling empty because of porn. And the last one. The way to watch porn go harder with the time. I mean, it starts watching something common and bit by bit you need to watch harder things or situations. Yeah, it definitely changed. When I was younger to watch porn, I had to be in a mood. I was waiting till I was alone at home and I was okay with a pretty girl masturbating or so. After 10 years, I knew if I find much harder porn, I would need less time. That is actually a big part of the problem, because you start to think that it is normal that every girl is skinny, has big breasts, and want to do anal all day long, and every guy has six pack and a big dick. Then you realize that you don't have a great body, you don't have a huge dick, and the girl you're dating is not perfect, and you start to think that you're not good enough and the problem has to be in you. Because in porn, everybody is smiling and everybody is enjoying it. So, yeah, I have changed. And the porn I was watching was much harder because a cute girl in a bikini on the internet or in summer in a pool was not interesting for me. That's it. I would like to know just already what you all are thinking. Because it's like I just can't talk to myself right now. First of all, I want to thank this guy to be so brave. I think it shouldn't be easy to talk um, about an addiction, and to me, just this step of wanting to express it to the world, it is huge, and it means that he really wants to change. So congrats for that, and thank you. I hope you realize how important it is to be aware of those situations. And I love the way he even expressed how pornography and sexuality is everywhere. Well, I think the first question, how do you know you are addicted, is a very interesting question because, as he well explained, if you don't have the control to stop yourself, and it can be with any example, not just with this addiction, there is a problem in a way. It's like feeling a push in your mind telling you you have to do it, you have to do it, and it doesn't go until you do it. And he will says, I don't want to be addicted to anything because then I cannot focus on work, on school, on my life. And to me, even though he thinks he's failing, he is not. Yes, okay, he didn't stop 100%, but come on, things like that doesn't go away just like thinking about it and that's it. It means work. And to be honest, just doing what he has already done, I think is awesome. Alright, maybe he had some step backs. So what? Don't see it as something negative and think, what's the point? No, okay, you did a step back, accept it, and move on. Think what happened in that day that you failed. Because maybe it was a shitty day, maybe you were very down, maybe you had a huge fight. All the situations you are involved in does affect in your daily routine. So even more if you're addicted to something. I'm not saying this just like to have an excuse or okay, I failed because I was down. No, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that if you want to change that, there is no excuses, but there is facts. Facts that sometimes make things harder. And maybe they will change to be better. Personally, I think it's more difficult to change any addiction if you're doing on your own. And that's why I want to tell you some tips that might help you. When we do an activity, it can be eating, listening to a compliment, or seeing something that turns us on, the brain produces a chemical called dopamine, which is what makes us feel good. With the release of this dopamine, the brain receives messages telling that we want to repeat the same behavior to release more dopamine. And watching pornography produces lots of dopamine, and therefore overstimulation in the brain reward system. This access generates messages for us to repeat the behavior, and this generates the constant need that causes that addiction to drugs, alcohol, pornography, or even a person. There are many triggers that can generate addiction to pornography. Some examples are anxiety, going through a bad time such as breakup, lose a job, to lose someone close to you, and another complex causes physical abuse, psychological wound, abandonment, or even sexual abuse. Unfortunately, we're educated to fill the emotional void that we feel. We don't have resources to handle situations, emotions, and therefore many times we resort to calm and fill a void doing anything that we will feel this dopamine again in our body. We cannot forget that the bodies of actors and some videos are many times modified. Many sexual behaviors that are exposed in there are sexist violent, and distort reality. They even dehumanize sometimes. Being aware of that reality can help us to stop that idealization of pornography. Try to limit the consumption of pornography. You don't need to ban it. Start doing small changes, because ban it might make it just the opposite. Set weekly goals, for example, fewer times a day, and then one day yes, one day no. Little by little, you will be able to change that routine. Remove some apps if you have it on your phone, tablet, computer, whatever you use, and block the websites that take you to that material quickly. And if you have a computer or tablet or whatever, try to use it in a public place to avoid temptations. It can be in the living room, in the kitchen. Find out what situation encourages you to watch porn. Perhaps when you're bored, maybe when you have problems at work or with somebody. Analyze what activities push you to get those desires again, and once you detect what emotional states or situations lead you to consume porn, try to do something different when it can happen. Maybe go for a walk, do exercise, meditate, meet someone, call a friend, play music. Make a list of situations that lead you to consume it, and then another list with ideas that you will use to avoid it. Share it with your partner or with somebody that you trust. It might be embarrassing at first, but don't see it as something negative, because hiding it is not ideal either. Perhaps once you say it, the other person, you will understand maybe some situation that you guys had in the past. And if you want, this person can help you to deal with this. Together, I think it will be easier. And if the person doesn't understand it and it goes wrong, don't blame yourself. Don't take it personally. That person perhaps is dealing with internal situations too. Specialized help. First of all, everyone, even the therapists, need at some point go to see somebody to ask for help. It's nothing to be ashamed of. Try it. The development of an addiction is complex, and therefore I do recommend see a professional. An important thing also, and this is again my opinion, recommend you to look for somebody who is specialized in this subject. A sex therapist will know better about this situation more than a general therapist, for example. And something very important is that it doesn't work with any specialist, even if it's a sexual one. Search one and try it. But if you don't feel comfortable with this person, if maybe it's not respecting you, change it. That person is not for you. It is already a hard work to do. So don't let screw it with somebody who is not helping you in the way that you might need. I really think that self-esteem is fundamental in this type of situations. So work on it too. And to end, I consider it can be very useful to write about it, to write how you feel, and it can be like a diary, drawing it, make a song, just a daily word, whatever that inspires you is perfect, and it can help you to be aware of the changes that you're doing yourself. It can motivate you, and maybe with each weekly goal, for example, give yourself an hour for achieving it. Obviously, it will not have nothing to do with porn. It can be going out for dinner, have an ice cream, a daily movie, a date just with friends, walk in the countryside. You choose something that makes you feel good about yourself without being related with your addiction. And that's it. I'm sure I have more things to say, but I think those are the fundamental things. Thank you for watching. Thank you again to this beautiful person who was so brave to tell his story. I think it's awesome. If you're in a similar situation, I hope it helps you. And at the moment, I have nothing else to say. Thank you and much love to you all.